and it's meant to be sort of this absolutely insane challenge. But off the top of my head, the things they actually did, I think it was... Hello guys, how are we? For those of you new here, I'm a psychology student trained to be a therapist, so on this channel we talk about positivity, mindset, well-being, mental health and all things like that. So if that sounds of interest, stick around. I've never really done a video like this before, I don't think. Just sort of running over the basics of self-development and what it's been like for me personally. A lot of what I do sort of more, not necessarily just giving my opinion on things, because I always try and back it up with evidence, whether that be that factual or anecdotal, but I've never sort of gone over just in general, basically, not just what I do, but what I'd say to anyone who was saying they're thinking of getting into self-development as a concept. Now, despite what you might hear, self-development is not some sort of cult that follows Andrew Tate and loves the red pill and does all of that kind of stuff, or the absolute losers that never go to parties and just work all night in their room and never drink and never see anyone or have any friends. That is not what self-development is. Although there may be some people in the self-development community who are like that, there are a lot of people who are just normal human beings who care about improving their lives, basically. And in reality, that's what self-development is. It's about consciously improving aspects of your life, or improving aspects of yourself, I should say, to, in effect, improve your life. As you get better as a person, your life will just get better. That's just normally how it works if you're improving those aspects of things. And it's about that being 1% better every day, the growth mindset, if you want to call it. And as I say, the word that I'd use is about being conscious, being deliberate. It's about taking specific actions, doing everything with a purpose, and thinking exactly what it is you need to change, and working out ways in which you can improve those areas. I wouldn't say I'm by any means sort of a super hardcore self-development person. You guys that follow me know that I still like to have a drink every now and then. I still like to go out and have fun and everything like that. But I wanted to run you through sort of, I guess, my journey, but what I do myself and what I'd sort of advise anyone else to do. And I've sort of split it into two sections, which is the basics in terms of day to day, like from when I wake up in the morning to when I go to bed, what are the things that I need to get done, and then sort of some general thinking of areas that aren't specific tick off to-do list, but just things that you try and think, well, I try and think about in day-to-day to improve things. So in terms of day-to-day, some of them I'll go into a little bit, some of them are pretty self-explanatory. First one, cold showers, pretty self-explanatory, very sort of well-known part of self-development. I've said before, I don't always do completely ice showers. Sometimes I just sort of do a little bit cold. The idea of it being, one, is a challenge first thing in the morning, which is always good for your mentality to do something difficult first thing in the morning. Also, cold water submersion, there's loads of research on it about sort of natural production of dopamine, so that's always good. Second thing is exercise slash walking. Obviously I resistance train sort of 3 days a week in the gym, and then every day I hit 10,000 steps to try and do a 5k or 2 every week. The running's quite a new thing. Again, if you guys have been following me, you know that, but it's actually something that I've really enjoyed, which I wasn't expecting to, hence I do 1 or 2 every week. The walking thing is more about being outside. Depending on what job you've got, obviously depends how much time you get up and walk around and spend outside. One thing I massively forgot about what it's like working in a corporate office is that you spend 0 time outside. So when I'm not in work, I really try and get those steps in outside in the sun. Meditation, again, I'd be lying if I said I was sort of super hardcore on this, blacking out the curtains and sitting there for ages and finding my inner soul. No, I just like to whack on some music, airplane mode my phone. If it is too bright, I'll shut the curtains, but normally I'll just lay on my bed, close my eyes, and just have a think. I'll literally normally do it for a couple of minutes, if that. If something really pops into my head that my brain clearly wants to flesh out, then I'll sit there for a little bit, but normally it's just about until I feel clear, which is normally a couple of minutes. Reading, again, don't really need to explain that. I would personally say at least 1 chapter before bed each night. If you can replace scrolling on your phone right before bed with reading a book, your sleep's going to be way better, you're going to fall asleep a lot easier, and it's just way more pleasant. You don't wake up with that sort of fuzzy head that you get if you've just stayed up watching TV or whatever. Diet. Now this one may need to go into a little bit. I wouldn't say I follow a specific diet at all. If I did, it would probably just be called the Sexton diet, because I don't think anyone else would eat it, because what I eat is pretty boring. However, that is by choice. I don't do that because I'm super strict or super regimented or anything. I genuinely quite enjoy the routine of eating the same thing every day. I know that's most people's idea of hell, which is why I don't talk too much about diet on this, because I think I'd put people off if I told them what I ate. But look, if you're trying to shift weight, all you need to do is be in a calorie deficit. If you're trying to put on weight, all you need to do is be in a calorie surplus. Keep your protein as high as it needs to be. I would always say get rid of any processed food. Make sure you're cooking at home as much as possible. Get rid of the delivery app. Get rid of the Just Eat app, whatever. I don't have them, whatever they're called. Waste of money, waste of time. Cook for yourself. You know what's in your food. You can be far more adventurous. Just make sure you're getting in your veg, getting in your protein. Gallon of water. I think that's about 4.4, 4.5 litres or something like that. It sounds like a lot. If you get yourself a half-gallon container, obviously, brilliant maths here, fill it up twice throughout the day, you'd actually be surprised how quickly that goes. That's been an absolute game changer for me. It sounds like a ridiculous one, but I don't think people realise how much water you lose just doing day-to-day life. Really good for your organs, really good for your brain, really good for your blood. Just water's just good for everything. And finally, journaling. You know, we love writing stuff down on this channel. So yeah, that's a huge thing for me. I really enjoy it. I really notice the days when I haven't done it. Just getting your thoughts down on paper is really good exercise. Just getting it out there allows you to read it back. Often allows you to realise how silly you're being about a situation, or if you're upset about it. Also helps with mental clarity. You're just getting things, it's not all clogged up in your head. You're getting it down on paper. Something I definitely recommend doing. It literally takes 5 minutes. Do it first thing in the morning or before bed, or when you get home from work, whenever you've got time. Get yourself a little notepad. It's like £2. Take the time to do it. It's definitely worth doing. In terms of just stuff in general to think about, got some pretty obvious ones. So straight off the bat, no smoking, drugs or porn. Like, pretty obvious. None of those things are good for you in any doses whatsoever. Didn't say no alcohol because that would be hypocritical of me. However, I would say minimise alcohol. I've certainly done that and I've really noticed the difference. Leading on from that, moderate caffeine. 2 or 3 cups a day, no problem at all. If you're starting to do more than that, even if you are doing it to blunt your hunger from fasting, I'd sort of really be careful with that. Also, personally, I don't drink caffeine after midday, so if that's something you do, maybe worth giving it a try, cutting it out, and just see what your sleep's like. Leading on nicely to more sleep. Again, there's not sort of a set number. Everyone's different. Obviously, the golden standard is sort of that 7 to 8 hours. I know I personally need more like 8. Even if I get 7, I'm still normally quite tired in the morning, especially if I've been in the gym and stuff like that. So the earlier you get to bed, the earlier the better, basically. Setting boundaries. That might sound like a bit of a weird one, but part of being sort of a better person is you want to attract better people into your life, and the way you're going to attract better people into your life is by having high standards. And that doesn't mean being anything silly. Again, I know I spoke about at the start about self-development being this coal that has no friends or whatever. It's not about that. It's just about if you have close friends or a partner who just exhibit awful behaviour that brings you down, it's not good to have them around. So set boundaries. You're going to get treated better and you're going to have better people around you. Another obvious one, less screen time. Ironic because you're probably literally watching me on a screen right now of some sort, but I've personally got mine down to around 3 hours on my phone. I don't know what it is on my laptop. Set app limits. Like, you don't need to be on your phone for that long unless you are literally like a social media advisor or you run like an account or something like that. But in general, consciously make the effort to cut back on screen time. Working on your purpose. Again, purpose I know is a bit of a buzzword sort of in this community, but look, some of you guys might have full-time jobs. I know I certainly do. I have a full-time job as well as studying, and I still put, it may not always seem like it, but I still put a hell of a lot of time into this channel and my Instagram account. If it's just writing scripts, filming, editing, coming up with ideas, I've got a whole spreadsheet of ideas and everything like that. So it's always important to put the time into what you feel is important as well. And finally, decluttering. I get a lot of piss take messages about the fact that I pretty much only wear this hoodie and the pink version of it that is hanging up behind me. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, because I had like a few hoodies in different colours and I suddenly thought I don't actually need that many. And since I've just cleared out my room, cleared out my wardrobe, my life's just been a lot easier. It's a lot less stressful working in a decluttered environment. That's pretty much it in terms of actual sort of things to maybe bear in mind. I just want to sort of talk to anyone who is thinking about getting involved in this but doesn't really know what they're doing. I'm guessing that is someone like you if you've clicked on something that's about basics. Look, like I said, I know a lot of people make this lifestyle out to be some insane, miserable path, and it's really not. And I've actually written a script for a video about why self-development gets such a bad rap, and I'm gonna make that in the next couple of days. I watched a video on what 75 hard involves, which is something you may have heard of if you're getting involved in all this, and it's meant to be sort of this absolutely insane challenge. But off the top of my head, the things they actually did, I think it was two 45-minute workouts a day, one inside, one outside. I think it was a gallon of water a day, an hour of reading a day, a progress picture every day, and journaling every day. Those were the things you've got to do. And I sort of thought about it. I'm pretty sure they missed one off. I'm pretty sure it's you're not allowed to drink. I'm pretty sure it's no alcohol as well. Obviously, the hard part of it is if you miss a day, you go back to day one until you've hit 75 days. I don't gym every day, so I don't do one of the 45-minute workouts every day, but I do a 45-minute workout outside every day because I go for a walk, and that very much counts. I journal every day. I don't take a picture every day, but I could if I needed to. I read every day. So I was sort of going, that's not actually anything that's that difficult. Everything I've said there is something that you guys could easily do. And the most incredible bit is that a lot of them don't cost that much time, and all of them cost basically no money. So these are things that you could literally start doing depending on what time of day you're watching this, today or first thing tomorrow, and just see. I always try and say on this, just try, give it a go. Just try these things and see if your life gets better. If you do them for a couple of weeks and you've got, oh, this is terrible, then don't do them anymore. But I don't think that's going to happen. I finish up by saying what I said at the start. Self-development is about being deliberate in everything you do. It's about making a conscious effort. Because when you do everything deliberately, everything with purpose, and you consciously take every action you take, you make such better decisions because you don't sleepwalk through life, and you end up avoiding those little mistakes that cost you. I really hope you give the stuff that I've talked about in this video a try. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. I do appreciate you guys to stick around. If you did find any of it useful, please do consider liking and subscribing. As always, my socials are in the bio, the description. If you want to drop me a message or anything like that, feel free to comment any other thoughts below, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care, guys.